Hi, everybody. Okay, today I want to talk about what's the quantum field got to do with it, and my answer is everything. So I want to just play away with what that means to me and how I've learned to do things in a different way since discovering working with what I would call the quantum field. So, okay, when, let's say, as a coach, or if you're working with something in the world and you're trying to get it done and you're working person to person or person to group, or person to circumstance, you've got you and what you know and your energy and that and how you influence things, right? Which is good. But that's working person to whatever person, field, circumstance. But when you're working field to field, everything occurs very different. So and when you work field to field and you put it all inside of what I call the quantum field, everything occurs so powerfully, so brilliantly, so geniusly, so awesomely, so wondrously that it's almost effortless. And you get bigger movement, bigger results when you do that. Now, why is that? Okay, when you're working field to field, so let's take person to person for a minute. So when you're maybe working transformatively and you're working, there's you and there's a person, and you're working transformatively, you can work energetically to call their being present, to elevate their energy, to open up their energy so they expand, become more, they connect, they plug in. All of that is great, a really good movement for people. But that's person to person. So when you work field to field, so suddenly as an alchemist, ALLchemist, as an alchemist, you become the greater field of life, of the all, of the universe, of the infinite, of whatever you want that to be. And they become a greater field of possibility or, whatever. And then you put it in the context of the quantum field space, and the dynamics occur completely differently when you do that. So it's like when you put something into the quantum field space, it gets juicier. um, I don't know quite how to describe it. It's like the particles in the quantum field space are more supercharged with potential and possibilities. Whereas when you're working person to person, it's the particles are a little more dense and defined, so a little less fluid and supercharged. So go field to field and put it in the quantum field space. Whoa, you're in a supercharged space with free flowing potential and possibilities moving. There's more potency in it. There's more power available to you and it. There are greater outcomes possible because you're in a free flowing, supercharged space in which things can occur. So, if I was working with an individual who wanted to go to a next level of their life, so if I become an expansive field, the all, the universe, let's say, and then I put them in the quantum field as an amazing, vast, expansive field of possibility. And then I activate that field, and again, I'm in a more supercharged, juicy, potent place in which things move faster and easier and more graciously, with more power, with more oomph, with more availability of all kinds of ideas and innovations and potential and possibilities rolling around in that space. And the person then is more flexible to dance and become in that space. So you could say, if you come back to person, that you're dealing with identity, you're dealing with persona, you're dealing with learned behaviors, you're dealing with how they view life. Everything's more compact and a little bit denser packed. Whereas when you become a field, you make them an expansive field, you put them in the supercharged quantum field of possibility, and you activate the field, and it's like it all just kind of happens amazingly. So there you go. I just thought I'd play with that a little bit today to give it a bit more juice as an alchemist, but working field to field in the inside the quantum field of possibility when you're working with people, circumstances, organizations, the world, whatever. You can do it at any level. You put it in the quantum field and you work all expansive field to expansive field inside the quantum field. And then you activate it using the deep core, like with an emotive burst, like that. And the potency of the field just comes to life, and it starts to do things, and things aren't so compact. Everything's got an ability to move and flow. So there you go. We shall play with that some more. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Bye.